In this video, we are going to learn about how to compare integers. Well, when we are comparing integers, it simply means we want to see which of two or more integers is the larger and which one is the smaller. And in order to do that, we just have to remind ourselves a little bit about our number line. Well, we know that our number line is centered around 0, and we also know that the numbers move infinitely into the positive direction and are increasing as we move to the right of 0. So these numbers are increasing. And we also know that we move from 0 to the left into the negative direction, and these numbers are decreasing as we move further to the left. If you remember that, then answering these questions or understanding this concept becomes quite easy. Well, the next thing we have to do is let's look at this example. We want to compare 6 and 3, and these are normal numbers that we're familiar with. 6 doesn't appear on our number line, but we know we can always add any number that we want, and it's here, and 3 is here. And basically what we need to understand is that any number that is to the right of another number is larger. So when you compare these two, you'll see that the 6 is to the right of the 3, and therefore the 6 is the larger of the two numbers. Then we move to our symbols. Here we have our greater than and less than symbols. And one way of thinking about them is like a big mouth, greedy mouth that always wants to eat the bigger of the numbers. So here the mouth will point towards the 6, and we would say that 6 is greater than 3. That is how we will talk about it. So what we have said is that when you're comparing two numbers or more, you will always understand that any number that is to the right of another number is the greater of those numbers. Let's try the next example. Let's erase what we did here, and let's compare 0 and 2. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, we see that the 0 is here at the center of our number line, and the 2 is here. And we remember that anything that is to the right is the greater of the two numbers. So the greedy mouth, the big mouth, should be facing the 2 here, as you see, and we would read that 0 is less than 2. 0 is less than 2. We always read it from the left to the right. Good. Let's have a look at our last example. We're comparing -1 and -4. Again, the concept is exactly the same. We're going to start off by locating our numbers on the number line. Here's the -1, here's the -4. The number to the right is always the larger of the two numbers. So in this case, -1 is larger than -4. So when we place in our symbols, remember, think of the mouth. The mouth will want to be eating the -4. And we read it that -1 is greater than -4. Now this can be confusing to some. It shouldn't be, because you might think that how is 1 greater than 4? But remember, we're dealing with integers and not with whole numbers. And so with the integers, when you look here, as you are starting here on -1, imagine that it was a thermometer and it was a bit cold. As you move here, it's getting colder, more cold. So this is actually a higher, a bigger temperature. So the more you move to the left, the more your numbers are decreasing, and that is why -1 is in fact greater than -4. So the basic rule, as we said, is locate your number or your numbers on the number line, and the number on the right will always be greater than a number on the left. Now that you understand this concept, let's have a go at solving some questions to prove it.